So, how did you two first meet?
You said.
We first met on
the set.
On set, we didn't meet to discuss anything. I got a phone call to ask if I wanted to do this movie, and I had no idea why they asked me. But obviously I said yes. I read it and said yes, and then we first met in Wales on set.
Luckily, I was in a position to be able to do that because Jamie's going to be massive, and I don't know if it'll ever happen again. So I'm busy writing away now to try and make the best of Jamie. But what happened was we did it on a shoestring, and I was looking. We couldn't afford a casting director, so I was looking online through YouTube. Looking on YouTube. Like, who are the new actors coming out, blah, blah. And I saw a video blog for Spring Awakening, a show that was on in the West End that Jamie was in, and he just looked brilliant, and he was brilliant. I could see he was brilliant, and that was like, as soon as I saw him, I got really excited and hoped that he might say yes, and so just rang his agent and made the offer. I don't think Jamie knows because it was like equity minimum, but for us that was like the equivalent of we were offering him a $10 million deal in our budget. So, but he said yes, and we got him.
So how long did it take you to write this project?
The actual writing of it was like maybe Jim Cooper, the other writer, and I. It was his idea. It was Jim Cooper's idea. And the actual writing of it probably took about 6-7 months, but for it to come into fruition, for it to actually be made, it was like, I think like 6 years or something, because it nearly got made and then it didn't, and it nearly got made. So I asked the original producer, John Williams, over in Hollywood, could I run with it and make it in my hometown with Mike and the Alarm?
You don't sound Welsh.
No, because I'm from North Wales, from a seaside town called Rhyl, and most of its inhabitants are from Manchester, Liverpool and Chester. Right. So I think I've absorbed that. I promise I am.
Where's Jamie from?
I'm from Kent. so far away from Wales, you can imagine.
You're both music fans though, so this is something which is why this film came about.
Yeah,
you're a punk fan.
I was in a band called, what happened was I was in America as a working director over there. I was on a big list from when John Williams met me at Disney. I was working at Disney and he had done films for Disney. And I was on a list for this from an idea that Jim Cooper had, the other writer. And so I went in to interview for it, and they said it's about a band called The Alarm. Have you heard of them? I went, yeah, they're from my hometown. They used to be called The Toilets, and they managed my band, The Fractures, and I went out with the bass player.
Why did you give up music and go into acting?
Because I was rubbish. I was utterly rubbish. It was punk. I was the drummer, and because it was punk, it really was. You could just do anything. I had 2 beats. I can do them now. I could do this. And I could do... and I used to go a bit wrong. Okay, and that was it. We had 8 songs. That was a mistake. I'd like to keep acting. I'd like to keep acting.
But you're actually a musician as well. You look pretty tasty in the film.
I kind of play by myself. I'll tell you right now, I can't remember the last time I played the guitar. Like, it's not something I do all the time because I want to be an actor. But it's something that it's like a hobby. Like if I feel like it, I'll pick up a guitar and play it.
What was it like for both of you working with Phil?
Great.
It was really fun.
Was
great.
He a bit of a star, or was he completely down to earth?
It was totally down to earth.
Absolutely down to earth.
And he's all about the work as well. It was like, like he's very instinctive. And so, like, if something wasn't working, he'd go, whoa, and he'd, like, adapt it so it made it feel like his. And then, remember that scene that you guys did, that was the best scene for me as a director, is that Jamie and Phil had this scene, like, I don't care about you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're my dad, like, when they let rip at each other. And we did this, like, improvisation before, and then just, like, they went into it. And they took from, just like the kind of suggestion from the script, but they improvised, and it was brilliant what they did. It was electric, and it was so alive. And, I think they worked so well together. And then that thing by the castle on your first day, they did that last scene, like, my dad, if you are my, if you are.
How long was the shoot?
Less than 4 weeks.
Less than 4 weeks, yeah. It was really
20
quick,
days, yeah. Very intuitive, very quick.
And it took you how long to cut it after that?
The cutting was more of a reduction, but that took about, I'd say that took like more traditional, about 8 weeks, maybe 9 weeks of the actual picture edit. But we didn't have, like, it did come in long, but I really didn't want to do many takes. So it was more we shot what was on the page and it came in long. But then it was just like, just cutting it away, cutting it away. But this immediacy, which I think was part of the, you know, what the kind of world of the film is as well. And I really wanted that in it, and the grittiness and the rawness of it. So we had a kind of rule that we wouldn't do many takes. Right. And then we had actors that really kicked off like that because they're very instinctive. Jamie is, you know, electric and emotional, and so was Phil. So I actually didn't, I hoped it would go as well as it did, but the chemistry all just started weaving with each other, and it was lucky like that. I think there's a lot of people in the music industry who's happy you made this because it kind of laid bare what's going on. Really, that's good. It's on its arse, isn't it? Mm. Yeah, it's not a lot of fun. It's not free, you know, it doesn't belong. I mean, it's hard because everybody has to think about the end result of selling it, and you have to establish yourself, you know, and you've only got this long a window to do that in. But yeah, hopefully I'm really glad you said that, because, like, you know. And it's like you get kids as well who get given record deals as well. These kids that don't really know anything, they get record deals thrown at them, and then which is basically a loan, and then they've got to pay that back through sales, and then they'll end up on their arse in like however many years. But then you've got bands like The Alarm that have just kept on going, and but are under the radar. Yeah, they do. But have just kept a career out of it, and then you end up with money being thrown at kids, and then people wonder why they get all, you know. There's no longevity to it. Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. Film. Mm-hmm.